Despite the historical and theological importance of the Bible within Anglicanism, modern Episcopalians may not engage with the Bible in the same way during services. This reflects a broader trend within the denomination, where the focus is often on the liturgy and the Book of Common Prayer, which seamlessly weaves in biblical references and teachings. While the Bible may not always be physically present in the pews, its presence is unmistakable in the language and structure of Episcopal worship. While you may not often see Bibles in the pews of Episcopal churches, their absence should not be mistaken for a lack of biblical engagement. The Book of Common Prayer ensures that Scripture remains at the heart of Episcopal worship, even if the Bible itself is not always in hand. The historical roots of Anglicanism, shaped by the English Reformation and the work of figures like Cranmer, ensure that Scripture continues to play a vital role in guiding the faith and practice of Episcopalians. Reading the Bible remains an important part of personal and communal faith, even if it is not always directly footnoted in every use. By placing a strong emphasis on liturgical tradition, Episcopal worship continues to honor its biblical foundations without necessarily requiring the presence of physical Bibles in every pew. The Book of Common Prayer, which integrates so much of the Bible's language, allows for worship that is deeply rooted in Scripture, even when parishioners are not directly asked to open a Bible during services. Episcopal worship is thus shaped by the Scriptures in a unique way that reflects both tradition and liturgical richness. Through these practices, Episcopalians maintain a connection to their religious heritage and continue to engage with biblical teachings in ways that are meaningful to their faith community. The Reformed English Church became a Bible-reading church. Thomas Cranmer saw to that. As the first Archbishop of the Church of England, of which the American Episcopal Church is a direct descendant, Cranmer substantially increased the amount of Scripture to be read aloud during public worship. In the course of just 1 year, almost the entire body of sacred writings would be proclaimed in parish churches, not in Latin but in English. That the people, by daily hearing of Holy Scripture read in the church, should continually profit more and more in the knowledge of God and be the more inflamed with the love of his true religion. Cranmer's Book of Common Prayer is drenched in the language of the Bible. So are its successors, including the 1979 Book of Common Prayer that Episcopalians use today. No wonder my Texan friend insisted that you didn't need a Bible in the pew. Almost every phrase in the Book of Common Prayer seems to quote or paraphrase it. The prayer book he grew up with, published in 1928, printed 2 New Testament readings for every Sunday of the year, but the range of readings for Sunday has expanded considerably since 1928, and there are now too many to print in the prayer book itself. Even so, like almost all its predecessors, it does provide one book of the Bible in its entirety, the Book of Psalms, known as the Psalter. The Psalter is the cornerstone of our common prayer. To say or sing the Psalter is to pray the Bible. Day by day and week by week, we use prayers that Jesus himself probably knew by heart. Besides the Psalter, other extended sections of Scripture appear in the prayer book as well, among them Mary's song at the Annunciation, "My soul doth magnify the Lord," and Simeon's song in the temple as he held the infant Christ, "O Lord, now lettest thou thy servant depart in peace," along with excerpts from Isaiah, Revelation, and passages from Paul's letters celebrating Christ as the new Passover. Christ our Passover is sacrificed for us. In Cranmer's time, and for generations afterward, the daily repetition of these psalms and canticles in parish churches and private devotions helped shape the everyday language of the English people. By decree of the king, an imposing printed Bible was to be placed in every parish church, open to be seen and read by anyone literate enough to approach it. Even now, in many British and North American churches, a large Bible or lectionary book can be found open on a lectern, often carved to resemble an eagle, symbolizing God's saving words soaring above the congregation.